Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the weekly premiere of 15 with the Team, a live series where we, the Office of the Student Advocate, discuss common topics within the DC education system to help you become more informed and empowered in less than 15 minutes. My name's Renata, and this is my colleague, Phil. And today we'll be discussing the post-lottery enrollment process. So, Phil, summer is quickly coming to a close and families across the district are getting ready for the school year. And although we are well past the lottery application deadline, families still have some options for enrolling their student into a DC school.
Absolutely. Right now, we are in the post-lottery period. Since the official My School DC lottery closed earlier in the spring, the process to enroll in a school is a little bit different for this time of year. So if you're interested in either transferring your child to a new school, or if you just need to enroll your child in school, typically you would have to submit a post-lottery application through My School DC.
Right. So at this point in the year, some schools may not be accepting students any longer due to capacity or policy restrictions, but our office is a great place to start in navigating the process of determining available school options based on your child's needs. And since we're in the post-lottery period, families have the following options available for enrollment. They can either enroll in their in-boundary or what's called your neighborhood school, or you can seek a seat at a school with a short wait list.
So let's break down those options. If you still need to enroll your child in the school, first, let's talk about your child's in-boundary school or your neighborhood school. Every kindergarten through 12th grade student is guaranteed a seat at their in-boundary or neighborhood school, regardless of any other factor. Doesn't matter if you just moved into the city, you don't know what to do. They're legally guaranteed a spot at the in-boundary school if you live within District of Columbia. This will always be a DCPS school and is dependent on your address once again. To complete this process, you can either visit enrolldcps.dc.gov and use the Find Your School feature to identify your in-boundary school, or you can give us a call, 202-741-4692, and we will happily help you find your in-boundary school.
Great. So once you've gone through that process and you've identified your school, make sure you use the DCPS enrollment website that we just referenced, enrolldcps.dc.gov, and fill out your online enrollment documents. Be sure to sign them and submit them at the end. Make sure that also while you're doing this, you review the list of supporting documentation that you need to ensure that your application is completed in full. This will be things like their health records, proof of address, etc. Always remember to follow up with your school's principal via email to ensure receipt of the enrollment form. And if you go to the DCPS website, you can look up your school, find out who your principal is, and find their email on that website.
And I just want to stress again, if your child is not enrolled in school yet, it is very important that you enroll them today in your in-boundary school. That is something you can do right now. There's nothing to stop you. So please follow those steps. And once again, if you need help, give us a call. But if you choose to enroll in a public charter school, for instance, or any other DCPS school that is not your in-boundary school, you must go through My School DC and complete a post-lottery application. You can find out which schools have a short wait list of less than 10 students on that site through My School DC. This will help you get a better idea of which schools have potential open seats. Once again, if you need help going through that process, give us a call, 202-741-4692.
So similar to the regular lottery application, any families who apply to multiple schools in the post-lottery application period will be asked to rank their choices. And families will be permitted to submit one application per child for all of the schools that they're interested in.
And post-lottery applicants are added to wait lists, I guess, behind those that applied before you. So if you're applying post-lottery, you're placed behind everybody who applied pre-lottery process. The only exception is if you qualify or if your child's eligible for a preference at a school, like a sibling preference. For instance, like if your child has a sibling that is in a higher grade that's already enrolled there, that process or that would then move your application above those who did not have that preference to qualify for.
Exactly. It's always good to know and understand that the school will always make the determination if they're available to accept that student, not my school DC and not any other agency. That determination is fully up to the school. Just because a school has 0 students on their wait list or a very short wait list, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're accepting incoming students. So we always encourage families to reach out to the school via phone or email to determine if they're able to accept your post-lottery application.
Also, it may be very difficult to find an open pre-kindergarten seat during this post-lottery period. Though DC has universal pre-K offered, it is not legally required for children to attend pre-K programs. So a school may not be accepting more pre-K students once the lottery application window has closed. So if you're a parent right now who's weighing either pulling your child out of pre-K, or if you're thinking about transferring schools, just be 100% sure that you have a seat that you're going to put them in, because they may not have that seat once you pull them out.
Right. So that's kind of the quick rundown of the post-lottery application period where we're at now. And Phil, I know that you're a DC parent and you've enrolled your children into DC schools and gone through this process before. Do you have any advice or anything that you'd like to say to parents who are going through this process?
So one thing I will say is, as overwhelming this can be with all the different school options that is available to you, there is a lot of information available for you too. For me, I like to learn as much as possible about schools as I possibly can. We've talked about My School DC, their website. It's an awesome resource. They don't just have the wait list, they also have literal mapping of all the schools, their locations, if it's a charter, DCPS, how well kids do on park, just number of students enrolled in the programs at the schools there. And it also has websites per school, so you can dig in a little bit deeper. Addition to that too, there's I think OSSI put out, was it DC School Report Cards, dcschoolreportcard.org. Once again, if you have a list of schools you're considering, you would type it into the site, and it has information from early childhood programs, which I definitely was very helpful last year for me. It kind of ranks like, okay, compared to the district, how is this school doing based off the metrics they use off, like, what services they give the pre-K students. But then it also ranges from like discipline issues or academic performance. It's not complete info, but it is valuable information when considering, your options. And I guess on top of that too, I think you mentioned it before, Ray, I think being in communication with the school throughout the process is helpful. If you can reach out, I know you can call into the front office just to inquire a little bit, but I think once again, emailing principals is always helpful. They're pretty responsive. They want to have families in their seats if they can. Just, trying to arrange, hey, is there a way we can talk with, some of the staff members? Is there a way to talk to teachers? I know a lot of schools have been doing some amazing things this summer, like having play dates, like where students come and meet the teachers at the school's playground over the weekend, which is an amazing thing to offer. But if you're in communication with school, you can easily find those things out. But definitely get in contact with your school is very helpful.
Most definitely. And always remember that you are your child's best advocate. And while this enrollment process can be complicated, especially around this time of year, our office is always here as a resource to answer any questions and guide you through the next steps. So if you have any more questions or you need more information, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 202-741-4692, or you can email us at student.advocate@dc.gov. Thank you everyone for joining us today. It was great talking with you, Phil, and we will see everyone next week on Wednesday at noon.
Be easy, y'all.